All right, hold on. Before you skip this video, I just want to show you something. We are looking at this in this video, a total breakdown of every bit and piece of this cinema rig, from the handles to the screen to the lens to the camera itself. This could be applied to any other cinema camera, of course, with a few adjustments. Well, it's taken me a good number of years to figure out this, so good number of years gonna be narrowed down to minutes, and I hope it'll be helpful. Let's do this. Yeah, we're gonna kick off with building this Lego piece of the camera rig, and I'll let you know the pros and cons, the good things about it, my experience, and other recommendations if you're not using the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera, because this specific rig is designed for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera or Blackmagic Pocket 6K, Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro, Blackmagic 4K. Yeah, the 4K, the 6K, and 6K Pro. You get what I mean. So first and foremost, we are going to start off with the camera itself. We start with the camera, put a plate to it, make sure it's really tight. So next we do have this little puppy. I don't know what you would call it, but I think it's a base plate of some sort, but the plate is able to slide in, so it could be any of your choice. So this part right here sits on a tripod, so the tripod plate sits at the bottom of this puppy. So 15mm rods go through, should be your friend. So this is the main support of the entire rig. Caution, the camera should be in its own camera rig. It's got to be in a cage in order for you to make this rig work. So it doesn't matter if the parts are not the same, but it's the idea of putting it together. And then from there, we are going to slide in the shoulder pad. Putting it a little farther out like this would create some balance issues if it's way out this way, but if you push it closer in within, that way there's chances of having a real center of gravity that won't make the camera rig be too heavy on your body. That in, and then we get the V-mount plate. So there's so many options of V-mount plates that you could have, but just make sure it has the 15mm rod, because everything, almost most of the staff foundation, the base of the entire rig is supported by the 15mm rod. So this one in specific, I kind of adapted SSD holder by SmallRig. This should be linked in the description, which I adapted here. And if you're a Blackmagic user, you very well know that Blackmagic uses external SSDs to record video, so this is a good option. And this part right here specifically, I had to adapt it to the V-mount plate. Bring it in like that, make sure it's tight, and the space in between here is important, just in case you might need to use the screen here. It doesn't flip out like the 6K Pro. The 6K Pro kind of comes out, which is a good thing, but in this case, for this rig, you might not have to use this screen so much, because the monitor that we're going to see in the next few minutes really helps you control the camera via Bluetooth, so you don't have to go through the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera screen, and you can still control the camera right here. Okay, we're gonna attach the V-mount battery. Make sure it clicks. Once you're done with the battery, just scoop this whole bad boy upside down. So this position really helps me to mount the rest of the stuff onto the rig without worrying about the rig going sideways or falling over. So I just put everything, the support to go on the V-mount, and face upwards. Okay, what is next? So we have this piece right here. It's got the ARRI style of support on the side, and the purpose is to give foundation of the handles. It's the foundation of the handles, and also has a 15mm rod support style of mounting. So I'll mount this in. So this is the part where compensation for the weight comes in. If the handles are closer to the shoulder pad, that way you're gonna have slightly close to balance between the back of the camera and the front of the camera. So that's why I'm pushing this farther down towards the shoulder pad, so that the center of gravity is close to what we want it to be. That way you can film on your shoulder for a long time. All right, what's the next step? Next step is to attach the lens. So this is an adapter attached to the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera, and I have this EF mount. So it's Micro Four Thirds to EF mount. For this time around, it's the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K adapted to the EF mount lens. Carefully put this on. So this is a cinema lens. There's a video about this specific lens that I did. There should be a link to as well to that video if you want to know more about this cinema style. The MODs, it's an MOD, it's a modified 18 to 35 Sigma modified into a cinema type of there you go. Make sure it clicks, because if it doesn't click, your lens might fall off and you're gonna lose money. So these handles are by SmallRig. They're really solid and they have the ARRI style of mounting. I strongly recommend. I've used them for a number of years and they're not disappointing at all. So I'm going to put on the handles. There are other options of handles that I've used before. These guys, you want to use these on lighter cameras, not on a heavy setup as this. For a heavy setup, you might want to consider using these SmallRig type of ARRI support handles. These are like old school. I've used them before, they're not bad, but these guys are way more solid. So the handles really help. The handles are very, very helpful in situations where you're tired and you want to put the camera down on the ground. They're like the legs of the camera at the moment, especially if you film for the whole day, if you're filming for the whole day. The handle is very important. It's and if you can see, it's a very solid handle, and it has these guys. I don't know how they call those little small, it's not just the screw itself, but those little added dots that kind of make it firm, because you want a very, very firm handle for this kind of rig, because it's a heavy rig. You got to be sure that it's tight. So let's look at mounting. Oh, let's look at sound. So we have the sound going up here, and now we are heading to the monitor. Before we do any cable management, we're going to go to the monitor, see how to mount this monitor. I usually mount it on the sides, because that way when I put this on the shoulder, I want to have the monitor in my face. I want to see what I'm filming in my face, not looking in the screen right behind the V mount. Nope, this guy is going to mount on the side. That way you can see it's just right in your face. I'll need just a small little 15mm rod, like a few inches, and then this handle was designed to hold 15mm rods, this handle. So you want to go make it tight. Get this little piece that's going to hold, it's a monitor holder. It's a monitor holder together with these guys are monitor holders that are very flexible in terms of moving forward, back and forth, and rotation, back and forth, and rotation, which is very important for monitors. You want your monitor to be flexible. If the handles are right closer to the shoulder. That way the balance is all out in place, and the monitor is in my face, so that way I can easily see what I'm filming, and it's a touch screen. I can easily link it up to the camera itself and control everything from here, so I don't have to go like, you know, in case you're wondering. So this applies to the 6K Pro, because the monitor itself by port keys works directly with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras. Let's see what we got here. Let's get to cable management. Cable management, big deal, cable management. So might have to wire this. I usually power the monitor with a battery of its own, but some people would prefer to power the monitor with a V-mount, but I usually use a dedicated battery on the monitor. This rig is not designed to be put on a gimbal. It is specifically designed for strictly handheld and tripod, strictly. You can't be taking this off and putting it on the gimbal. If you need 2 cameras for the day, you need some motion, just make sure you get a separate camera for motion, and this will just do all the handheld stuff and the tripod stuff. So when it comes to pulling focus, I used to go with a traditional follow focus system, but it kind of got cumbersome a little bit. So with the years, I kind of upgraded to an automated or electric follow focus system. This wouldn't, unless if it's really small, and if you are ready to always pull focus like this, which really gets in the way, to be honest, because if the entire rig is on your arm, the entire rig is on one arm, you're gonna get tired really quickly, as opposed to having an electric automated follow focus system that you can control from the handle right here. That makes life way easier. But if you are using your arm or a regular follow focus manual system, you know, I mean, this works too, but remember, you got zoom and you got focus. You got 2 things at the same time. So at least if you can focus with the automated follow focus system, just down here and just zoom once, and then worry about the focus just right here. Focus on framing whatever you're filming, and as you pull the focus yourself, or if you have a fast assistant camera, a fast AC, if you got a budget, you could have them pull focus for you, and you just focus on framing, and that's it. But for purposes of framing, getting better shots, you might want to use an electric or automated follow focus system. There's so many out there. I decided to go with a PD Air live movie, whatever they call it. So it's pretty small as well. So what I would do is just mount it the opposite side of the rig, mount it on the opposite side of the rig, and then have the controller on the opposite handle of the rig. That way it's balanced out in the sense. So one of the reasons as to why I picked up this follow focus system is because you can mount it on almost because of the fact that it can open up this far, to be attached to anything, from tripods to handles to everything. So all I do is just mount it by the handle, depending on which is your favorite side is where you mount it. Some people are lefties, some are righties. I'm a lefty to a certain degree. Other people are righties. So in order to control the follow focus system, for me, what I was trying to explain about pulling focus by yourself is, you see, it's just right here. I can always just go and pull focus by myself without going like this. Depending on how you're filming, usually if I'm dominantly filming outdoor, I bring up this ND filter. I have a video about this Basecamp Bipolar Pro. So this really comes in very helpful in broad daylight. If you have the 6K Pro or any other camera that has inbuilt ND filters, then you don't need this puppy. Variable ND filter built into a matte box, which is really amazing. I have a video about this, so if you want to check it out. And it fits perfectly on this cinema lens. So yeah, what else? We need to power the camera. So from experience, shooting handheld does not only stay on the shoulder. Even though they call it a shoulder rig, it could be translated to any other levels, from middle ground and all the way down low level when you're shooting. Most people usually go out there and get the easy rigs. The easy rigs really make life way easier because the weight of the rig kind of is taken up by the easy rig. But even though you don't have an easy rig, you can still pull off the same shots at all levels, because people that have easy rigs can shoot from slightly higher, shoulder level, middle, and ground level. For those who cannot afford an easy rig where you can film all day, if this is balanced out really well and heavy enough, you don't need an easy rig. You just have, you know, I mean, I could break this down from the shoulder, middle ground, and ground level and still film something. This specifically is designed to shoot handheld and some tripod stuff. So you can be taking this off and putting it on a gimbal. That's definitely not gonna be able to work, but yeah, it is working for me. If you find this video helpful, like the video, share the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.